How did you wind up in WWWF working for Vince Sr.? How did that come about?
Well, I think I told you that's when I was in working for Terry Funk.
Right.
Well, actually Murdoch and Mulligan and Andre the Giant and Mario Savoldi. Between the two of them, Mario Savoldi was from New York. His father was Angelo Savoldi. Between him and Andre, they snuck a tape out of. I don't think they snuck it. They just I think Andre asked if we could bring a tape and
Right.
Mario had availability of a tape so he could show Vince, because he thought I had some talent, and he wanted Vince to see me.
What were your initial impressions of Vince Sr.?
Uh, well, Vince Senior to me was the only promoter that you would hear that he was a man of his word. If he told you something, he would keep his word no matter what. I mean, it was very plain when Bob Backlund was the champion. He nobody else would have stuck with their commitment. He made a commitment with Bob Backlund, and he told him he was going to be a champion for so many years. And even though it was hard for Bobby to get over,
Right.
you know, Vince Senior stuck with him. He was a man of his word. He stuck with his word, and I really liked working for him. When I left here, every move that I would make, I would always call him to ask him, "Do you think it's okay for me to do this?"
Right.
And he would give me advice.
What about Junior? What were your initial thoughts on Vince Jr.?
Well, my initial thoughts when he was working for his father.
Right. Yeah, when he was working for his dad.
Well, when he was working for his dad, he was like one of the boys. He would party and joke and have fun and do interviews. I just couldn't believe how much endurance he had in front of the camera. Doing interviews. For hours at a time. It was like he was a tireless person.
Right.
And you can still see that. Everybody says he works 24 hours a day. 7 days a week. Uh, Before he took over, we all used to call him Vinny.
Right.
The minute that they had a meeting and Vince McMahon brought us all together, we were doing TV, and I believe it was in Allentown, and he told us that Vince Jr. was taking over. All of a sudden, no more Vinny, it was Vince.
Right.
And he changed. Then he became our boss.
I guess, was it hard adjusting for you from all the smaller territories to a big company like that?
No, because it was like my money tripled, overnight.
All right.
And all of a sudden, I was making more money than I ever would have imagined that I was going to make in this business. So it's not hard to adjust when when you're making good money.
What are your memories of your first match at MSG? I think it was against Baron McGill's Cicluna.
It was to go out there and to see the crowd. It was a moment that I will never forget. And I went in there with a lot of nerves because everybody would tell you if you don't make it in the Garden, you don't make it in New York. So I went in there, and I think I was lucky that I came in at a time when my style of wrestling wasn't being done by anybody else. Because everybody always tells me that I was one of the first ones that came in and did some flying stuff.
Right.
And that's how they would talk about me. I was the first guy. The guys in New York were big guys, and all of a sudden I'm throwing drop kicks and doing flying head scissors and doing different things that people hadn't seen here.
I guess how soon into your run did you know you were getting over, and I guess the office had confidence in you?
I didn't realize until Ivan Putski came up to me and he told me, he says, Tito, Vince Sr. asked me if I would team up with you, and they're going to give us the belts. I realized then that Vince Sr. probably saw something in me that that saw that I was worthy of me becoming a World Tag Team Champion. I mean, I was I think 23 or 24 when I think I was one of the youngest champions, at the time.
Did you like teaming up with Ivan? And was there any pressure on you, I guess, since you were the workhorse of the team?
I really enjoyed. To me, it was an honor. A lot of the old veterans try to make a big deal out of it. You know, they would tell me, "You're going to do all the selling." But I expected to do the selling. I was. It was easy for the heel to get sympathy on me. You know, and Ivan was the guy that was established. You know, it just made sense.
Right.
For me to be the one to get the sympathy, and for Ivan to come and make the big comeback, and we got to the point where even Ivan would sell from time to time. You know, Ivan told me, he says, "Tito, he says, don't listen to anybody else. They're jealous. You know, a lot of the guys are jealous because you're getting a break and you're so young.
Right.
You know, and they think that they don't like. A lot of the guys didn't like Ivan in the territory. You know, because they figured that Ivan was self-centered. I mean, Ivan had a pretty good deal. I mean, he'd go home every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to watch his son play football because all these boys were playing football in Texas. Vince McMahon would fly him home, bring him back, give him a rent-a-car, and he had a sweet deal. And not too many guys had that kind of a deal.
What are your memories of teaming up with Andre at MSG against the Valiants?
Andre took a liking to me when I first started in 1977. I was in Atlanta. I had a two-door Granada, and I would go pick up Andre at the airport. I mean, he broke a couple of my car's seats, and I would let him stay. I had an apartment. He could, he slept in my bed. And Andre, Oli would make me responsible to make sure that Andre would get to the towns. And I used to feel sorry for him because I had a little car. But Andre would go. Luckily, the trips were short. But Andre took a liking to me, because I was always, there for him and never complained. And I was loyal to Andre. And to be able to, God, when I first got started, he was the eighth wonder of the world. And that's how they used to promote him. The territories all over would get their hot season going by bringing Andre and getting the lumberjack, not the lumberjack, the battle royals.
Right.
That's how Vern would get his territory going. Andre would come in about, the territory would start getting hot in October, so Andre would do about a month of battle royals, and Andre would show up just once a year for about 3 or 4 weeks, and all of a sudden the houses, just went up,
What are your memories of, I guess, the Hamburg TV tapings when Albano was there and he was always getting fired for being drunk?
I mean, it was as hard as the TV tapings were, and the characters that we had, and Captain Lou Albano was probably the main attraction there. It took me a while to figure out that every time he'd go back, he was filling up his Coke bottle. With vodka. I think he used to drink it straight, and the longer the day went, the more comical he would become, and I guess his interviews would get better, and
they're awesome.
Everybody knew.
He'd get rehired the next week, though, right?
Right, yeah.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.